5 money habits that keep almost everybody poor. I must admit to this, I was one of those people that really associate money with evil. I believe when I get money, I need to spend it as and when I get it. I've had this saying when I was young, money is the root of all evil. So when I see someone successful, I associate them with so many bad things, and not realizing that I was the one that using the money in a wrong way. And I would always have to worry about money. I remember one day working seriously long hours. I used to work as an accountant, and working so hard, but only to worry and to wonder, how do I keep up with my expenses? But when I realized these 5 habits I'm about to share with you, it transformed the way I think about money, and it really transformed my life to becoming financially free. What I'm about to share with you, if you implement and get rid of that in your life, it will, without shadow of a doubt, make you very successful and will ultimately get you to becoming financially free. In the UK, most people spend the money before they get it, and there's so many things, attractions, distractions, places to go in order to spend that money. So I wouldn't blame anybody, but you watching this video is one step closer for you to identify these money habits that have kept most people, perhaps yourself, if you're quite frankly honest to yourself, keep you poor most of the time. It's not like you're poor, you lack of making money. Maybe we're using the money in a wrong way, which I was doing just over 8 years ago. I was like everybody, spending the money and doing so many stuff with money, and I realized that wouldn't get me to where I want to go. And I also learned, whilst identifying these 5 money habits, that money is not evil. Because I was told money is the root of all evil. And I was also told it's easier for an elephant to go through a pin eye than it is for a rich person to go to heaven. So that always resonated with me. So let's get to the first habit. So why is this even important? So this is important because here's the thing. If you are looking to build up a family, if you're looking to become successful, if you're looking to being your own boss, and if you're looking to make money work for you, maybe you want to be successful, or perhaps you want to be a millionaire, whatever that may be for you. But these 5 habits is the foundation that would enable you to get to where you are, to where you want to go. If you've never been taking note watching my YouTube channel, perhaps this is the time to take note, because I started my businesses from nothing to building it to a multi-million pound businesses. So I know exactly how important these 5 habits it is to me, and how it's impacted me to become financially free, to do things the time and place I want to do them without relying on someone giving me permission to do what I want to do. So the first habit was spending more than I earn. Spending more than I earn. It sounds crazy, right? But here's the thing, most people live this way. So what I was doing basically is spending the money before I even get it. So I am always going out, I'm always hanging around with friends, always going on dates. And I was spending too much money basically, and I was just doing it because I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be with my friends. I wanted to make sure if they buy something, I can buy it. I wanted to please people around me. I wanted to look nice, so everybody would say, "Well, you look amazing." I was going way over my earnings to satisfy the people around me. The second habit was not saving money. I wasn't saving money for a silly reason. So I was thinking saving is just waste of time. I'm thinking, how long do I save £100 to get lots of money? So for me, I see it as a waste of time. I see it as basically no need to do it, because obviously I'm working, I'm making money. Why should I save? So it did not make any sense to me, because I'd said to myself, I'm going to get paid next month. So why should I actually save money that just sit in the bank to get the bank to use that money? So I stopped doing that. And believe me, there's so many people that are doing exactly that, right? So I was one of millions and millions and millions of people that do not have savings. So here's the thing. There's a record that shows the average person in the UK have less than £500 in savings. That is mind-blowing. Imagine how many people are on 50, 60, 70, or maybe even 80, 90, 100,000, and they've only got literally less than £500 saved. This is how the world is basically. People are not saving, they're spending money because there are so many things to buy that people literally want to buy in order to fit in. So let's go to habit number 3. Habit number 3 is a big one, not investing. So this is a funny one, basically. I've never thought about investing. I've never thought about it. What I was thinking about, how do I get the next job that pays me more, basically? Because obviously, most people I surround myself with, they are just working, and spending. I imagine when I used to work for one of the biggest corporations in the UK, they were investment bank, they were wholesale bankers, and they were big back then. They were the second biggest bank in the world back then. So what happened basically, every last Friday of the month is when everybody get paid. We go out every last Friday of the month, we go and blow all our salary for that month, and then come back Monday, everybody's broke. It's not like when you work for a corporation, when one person buys alcohol, needs to buy for the whole crew, and then you go in turn. That's how we used to do it, basically. Literally spending lots of money and then not thinking about investing. And believe me, we were working in an investment bank as well. We're thinking about how other people will save and invest, but we're not thinking about ourselves. That's how ridiculous it is when I think about it. So number 4, the fourth habit is carrying debt. So what that means basically is taking on high interest debt to buy certain things. You know, in the UK we have 0% interest, right? So the 0% interest, they get you to lure you in to take up whatever you want to do. You've got 0% in sofa, 0% mobiles, 0% interest on your fridge freezer, and all that sort of thing leads you to take on these things without paying for it right now. So we end up paying double the price as time goes on. Then obviously that then increases and accumulated and causing that to become a heavy, expensive debt for me to pay. And then I end up literally having so much debt that I'd have to go to work in order for me to be able to carry on living my life. Oh, sorry for interrupting this video. I just wanted to draw your attention to a guide I've just created. This guide is for you if you're looking to start and scale in property investment, and you've got questions that you want to ask in order to start your property investment. This guide is the ultimate guide to start and scale in property investment journey. I talk about the different type of investment strategies. I also discuss the 11 ways you can raise finance to make any property no money down deals, and the type of properties to buy in order to generate a serious return in your investment. And I'm giving this book away for completely free of charge, no string attached, nothing, absolutely free. Click the link on the description of this video to get your free guide now. We've only got a limited number of these copies available as well, so click the link to get your guide now. Let's get back to our video. But the 5th one is the one that would blow your mind away. Wasting money on unnecessary things. So basically what I was doing with my money is this. So I was subscribing to things that I don't even do. I was just spending all this money because I wanted to fit in. I wanted to make sure when my friends come along, they've got so much stuff to watch, everyone is happy in my house. I was trying to please people in order for them to see me as a very good friend, not knowing I was wasting my money. So now, these are the 5 habits that keeps most people poor. So how do we overcome these habits to ensure we become financially free and become filthy rich? What triggers me to look at my finances is one Saturday afternoon, I was out like everybody else, going out to the high street looking to do some food shopping. And as I'm walking along that busy road in Cardiff, Albany Road, I saw a gentleman pull up within a nice Ferrari car, beautiful Ferrari, red Ferrari car. He pulled up. When he pulled up, everybody's staring at him. Everybody's looking at that gentleman. That gentleman opened that door, walked out, closed it. Everybody's looking at that car. And some people are running, rushing towards the car to take photos, posing, taking photos all over the car while the gentleman walk off. What they resonate with me at that point, I started asking myself, what has that gentleman done to afford to get that Ferrari car? So he must be doing something right. So what I did basically is to do my shopping quickly, and I came around, hang around that car. It took me about 40 to an hour waiting around to see this gentleman to come back into his car. So 2 things I learned from that gentleman. He walked off a Ferrari car that worth about maybe £600,000, and he walked into a shop that are called Home Bargain. Home Bargain is one of the cheapest discounted shops. For me, it wasn't making sense. How can you walk from that car and then walk into a bargain shop? So I waited. So as he approached the car, and then obviously I was a bit nervous, a bit shaky, talking to someone who's got a Ferrari car, it's not always easy, right? Because obviously you get that nervousness in you. And I approached him, I greeted him, I said, wow, you got a beautiful car, I love your car, it's an amazing car. So I'm just wondering, what do you do for a living? That's what I've asked him. What do you do for a living to afford this car? And then he said, that's a good question, actually. People always like to take photos of my car, but they don't ask me how I was able to afford to pay for a car like that. Then obviously he told me first thing was it's investments. He's in a real estate business. He buy, develop and rent properties out. And sometimes he also sell properties. And he said he also own other businesses. I said, fine, fantastic. And then I said, also, I know you've got this car. This is an expensive car, right? You're talking about £600,000 here. And you've just walked into Home Bargain to buy cheap things. How does that even work? So why would you walk into a cheap shop like this? Why not go to expensive shops? He said, look, son, in order for you to be successful, the first thing you need to look into is to check whether you're living below your means. Because if you cannot live below your means, there's no way you would be successful. And I rather buy the things I want cheaply in Home Bargain and then use the differences to invest in my businesses. I'm thinking, what? I said, but that's not a lot of money. And that wouldn't do anything for you. Then he goes like this, yes, it doesn't, but it teaches you discipline, right? I'm used to it now. I don't have to come to Home Bargain today, but I'm used to spending my money that way because I believe in spending less than I make. So hence the reason why I come here. And I've been doing this since I started my investment journey. That then triggers me to go through these 5 poor habits. So I went back home quickly. I started looking at these 5 points. I realized I was spending more than I earning. So I was spending all my money before I even earned that money. So what I then did basically is to straight away I went home. I looked at my bank account. I looked at my direct debit. I looked at where my money is going. So I realized I have Amazon Prime. I have Netflix. I have all these things that I hardly watch. So that was literally draining my money away. And then I realized then also I was buying things that I don't need. I was buying things I don't need. So what I then did basically is to say to myself, I will never buy anything I don't need for the next 12 months. So I set my target on it. I don't need trainers. I don't need jeans. I don't need anything else. I need me. Okay, so I looked at that and then I looked at my standing orders. I looked at my standing orders to understand what am I paying for again? What are the useless things I've been paying for that I'm not been using? Again, I looked into different stuff. I eliminated all that. So literally that saves me almost 30% of my income there. Okay, 30% of my income was just going unnecessary stuff. The next thing I looked at, I realized I wasn't saving. I don't even have a savings account, right? All I had was a current account and literally nothing. For me, savings does not exist. So what I did basically is to open a savings account. I went in online, you can open it straight away if you got a current account. I opened a savings account. So what I did when I opened the savings account, I opened 2 types of savings account. One savings account going for my actual savings. Okay, this was for my savings. And the other savings account was for emergency. And then the current account I have was for my expenses. Okay, so I kept those accounts there. So what I then did is to put 60% of my income that goes towards my expenses. Right? Anything I need, my rent, my bills, anything I need, my feeding, everything is 60% of my salary. I know it wasn't always easy. It wasn't that easy to actually do it. Imagine going from spending more than what you earn to now only spending 60% of your income. That was a ridiculous turnaround, okay? And I could not believe I would do it until I did it. And then the rest then was 30% then goes into my savings. So I did not touch anything. I set up a direct debit standing order from my current account to my savings account. And then I left over 10% for emergency. So I've got my savings account for my emergency. That goes there every single month. So what does that do basically? It created discipline. It makes me disciplined. It makes me wanting to get that Ferrari car. Does that make sense? Because I was wondering, why is some people rich and the other people are broke? That is one of the things, right? We're spending more than we're earning. So whilst I was doing then, I looked at my third bad habits, not investing. Obviously, that guy told me invest in properties. So you buy and develop properties. So that's where his investment goes. So I realized, I'm not doing anything like that. He's got properties and he's got businesses. So what I was doing then basically, whilst I'm watching my investment, whilst I watch my savings grow, I was looking at opportunities to where I can invest my money, because I wanted to invest my money, okay? I soon realized I cannot buy properties with that savings. But what that does to me is basically, it allows me to save £500 per month. So in 12 months, that gives me £6,000. So what I then did with that £6,000 is to invest that £6,000. I invest that £6,000. So what did I invest my £6,000 on? I invest my £6,000 in properties. You may be thinking, how do you invest £6,000 in properties, right? What I did basically is to use a strategy called rent to rent. Rent to rent is the process by which you, the investor, would rent a property from a landlord and you subsequently rent that property out to a tenant on a room by room basis. So the landlord becomes your wholesaler and you become the retailer. Basically, you rent it and then you make fine margin. So with that £6,000, I was able to secure a 5-bedroom property. So that 5-bedroom property, when I secured it with £5,000, I had £1,000 left over. When I rent that property was generating me £500 net profit every single month. Here's where the magic happens then. So I'm saving £500 every single month already with my savings. And I started to make return on my investment of £500. And then adding those two figures together, in 12 months, I was making £12,000. So with that £12,000 then becomes a light bulb moment for me. I realized that I can literally expedite doing this. So whilst I was doing this here, guess what? I get addicted to it, right? I get addicted to making £500 every single month. And I got my second property, third property, fifth property, and so on. And then I start making a lot more money. But whilst I was doing that, I was also checking my debt. And what I did basically, I realized basically I was carrying too many debts. I have car finances to pay for. I have fridge, freezers, sofas, all this stuff that you normally take on 0% interest for the first 12 months. I realized I've paying so much interest in these things that don't add value to me. I call them bad debt because they don't bring me any recurring income. So because they were so high, they were very, very high debt. So what I was doing basically, the money I was making from here and my savings, I started to pay my bad debt down. Right? I started to pay my bad debts down. I reduced it within 12 months from having £6,500 in debt to £0 in debt. In literally 12 months. I was able to do all that in 12 months, and then I became bad debt free. That then released that money from there to continue my investing. And then what I then looked at basically is where my money was going, because I realized I was spending my money on unnecessary stuff. So I cut that also. Then I focused my energy on this bit here. I focused my energy on not investing to literally investing. So what I was doing basically, I was investing every single penny that comes to my wallet. So now I've got these properties going. I've got these 2 properties generating me £500 on the property, and I got £500 coming there as a savings. So I was making about £12,000 a year. So after the first year, when I've paid all my debt, okay, and I am debt free, bad debt free. So now I continue then investing. I got my second property, got my third property, got my fourth property, and so on. And each of these properties were generating me £500 per calendar month. And obviously I still got my savings. My savings was also generating me £500 every single month. So if you add all this together, I was making £2,000 a month passively without doing anything. Like literally maximum 2 hours a week. That's what I was doing. So when I times that by 12, I was on £24,000 every single month. And this is equivalent to the average UK salary. And this is without doing anything else. From there, I was able then to build that up to a massive cash pot, and I started to buy my own properties. I've now got my estate agency, I've got my renovation company, and I now help professionals like yourself to use my tried and tested method to make, manage, and multiply income through investment properties. So this has been a light bulb moment for me. It is something that has transformed my life. If anybody told me I would be where I was 8 years ago now, I would have said, you are talking BS, because I've never thought I would have been able to achieve what I set myself to achieve from eradicating these 5 things in my life. And here's the big deal. You may be thinking, this is just theory. This is just, I was lucky to bump into that guy with the Ferrari. You don't have to bump into that guy who's got a Ferrari or may got a Porsche. You'd have to start from now. Now you've watched this video, pinpoint these 5 habits and eradicate it in your life, and take the investor mindset, entrepreneurial mindset, to take your finances to the next level, a level that you would only dream of. I really hope this video has been helpful. If this video has been helpful, watch this video here, how you can start your property investment journey with nothing to building a multi-million pound property investment portfolio. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.